Hello, my name is David. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the instrument. And today, I have a list today for you. The top 5 things to practice when you don't want to practice. The very first thing is to strengthen the invisible thread. There is an invisible thread that happens between the source of the musical idea, which is in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, wherever you think it is. It's from the heart. To your fingers. That invisible thread links those. And oftentimes we kind of forget. You practice this without the guitar. I say it all the time. It's so beneficial. And then you grab maybe a backing track and you sing something. You sing an idea. Ba, 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 until you have something that you can repeat. Ba, 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 and then try it without. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, it's an ascending idea. So that is the starting point of that thread. Ba, 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 ba. It started from inside, I heard it, and then I delivered it through my mouth. See, the connection, that thread can go in many directions. It starts from the same place. In this case, it went through my mouth, and we're so used to using that direction of the thread. It's so easy. Ba, 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 ba. But this, going through your fingers, it's not as easy because we don't speak music all the time. So we had the start, and then we're gonna think about, okay, we're gonna experiment that. We're gonna try to deliver that. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, ba. Search for that note. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, we traveled. The musical thought traveled from inside through the thread and then out of the fingers, and then you play it. Maybe we'll start it here. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, that's the first thing you should practice because it reconnects with a thread. Eventually, that'll lead to play automatically, and the thread is so, the travel is so fast that it's almost like a high-speed thread. But that's the first thing to practice. The second thing you should practice is musical reflexes. This is what I mean, and this is how you practice it. So you've got the backing track here. Now we know that over this track, 7 notes can work because we're dealing with Western music. Typically 7 notes. I could argue that more than 7 notes work, but let's say 7 are really stable notes. That means that over the 12 possible tones that we have more chances of landing on a good note than a bad one. We're gonna practice our reflexes because a bad note is really close to a good note, just 1 fret higher or lower. So this is how we practice it. We got the track, and then we're gonna just play a note. Good or bad? Good. That was a good one. Now what about this one? Kind of bad, so we're gonna make it right by sliding in. Okay, so we're practicing our reflexes a little bit faster by, instead of playing a note, now we're gonna slide to a note. You gotta quickly ask, is that a good note or a bad one? If it's a bad note, make it right. Okay? Because that'll allow you to do things like this, where you've got a jam and an open jam, and you just grab your guitar and then, yeah, I'm in. But maybe not like that. Really bad example. Oh my gosh. More like that. The third thing you should practice is instinctive fretboard knowledge. I totally made up that series of words, but here's what it means. It means that you should be able to play a musical idea in many different ways of the fretboard. And that's because guitar, as you know, makes it possible to play the same pitch in different areas of the fretboard. Different strings, different frets will produce the same tone. And you should be able to play an idea anywhere. So for example, if we go back to that idea, here's a quick close-up. This one that we had earlier. This can be played, I could play it here. I'm in that zone of the fretboard, 4th string, 7th fret. But I can also start this here on the 5th string, 12th fret. Or, so your job is to find as many ways of playing that as possible. So it might need some research, and that's totally okay. That's part of your practice, where you're kind of like exploring the fretboard, fishing around for notes until you get it. That's completely fine, but I highly suggest that if you don't want to practice, you should practice that. Instinctive fretboard knowledge. Instinctive, because later on when you jam, regardless of where you are, you should really follow, the source of the musical idea. It's the heart, where it comes from, and then execute the idea regardless of where you are on the fretboard. Okay, let's take a look at the 4th thing that I think you should really practice if you don't want to practice, and that is internal groove. Oh my gosh, this one is kind of a newer thing for me in my life as a guitar player. Newer, probably about 8 years ago, I started really focusing on the groove delivery. And that really changed my life as a musician forever. Before that, I would practice, scales, drills, and all that, and everything needed to be kind of robotic in a way. Not anymore. So this is how I practice that. So you can do it without the guitar again, the backing track, the link is below, or a metronome, or anything you want, but you need something that keeps the groove, so we'll use this. Okay? And you just kind of phrase with noises, but percussive noises. Da-ka da-da, da-ka, da-ka da-ka, da-ka 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 da, da, da-ka da. And to help you with that, you can have a subdivision, almost like a train track in your mind, which is directed by the track. Da, da-ka, da. You always hear the or something else, but you always hear that, and whenever you play a note or sing a note or deliver something, it's got to fall on that track. Da-ka, 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 da, da-ka, 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 da, da-ka, da, da, da-ka. And then, if you practice that, things will start happening in your playing, where when you have your instrument and you phrase rhythmically, you practice that rhythmically, your playing will change and be a lot more focused. And then finally, your inner musicality. What is that? Well, it kind of goes with the very first thing we talked about. You remember that invisible thread? Well, that thread, where the music travels operates in to be delivered, it's got to start somewhere. And we've got to start thinking about developing that musicality. And that's something that can be done without your guitar, without your amp, without any music. Just do it on a walk. I love doing that kind of thing. I go on walks in nature, and I start imagining something very simple. I don't know where it came from, but maybe I heard something before, but that's my opening statement, and then I answer that. I imagine a tone in my mind, maybe a violin. Now that you know the top things you should be practicing, what if you only have 5 minutes? Well, I have the perfect video for you. This one right here will tell you exactly what you should be practicing in 5 minutes or less. Guaranteed. Check it out. And thanks for watching this one.